Hey guys, it's Husvar of the MWO, and I'm here with your monthly bonus episode. I decided to do this kind of on my own because our schedules were kind of a little crazy, especially with me returning from what the subject of this video is, and that's San Diego Comic Con. So I figured I would kind of share everyone my experiences that I have and maybe give some tips and tricks and compare to previous years and maybe those who were thinking about going to Comic Con sometime could maybe use this as a guide to help at least a little bit with the chaotic mess that is San Diego Comic Con. So without further ado, let's get into my San Diego Comic Con experiences. So I'm just going to kind of give an overview of my trip. It's always crazy, it's always last minute. But so I flew out Wednesday. Wednesday is technically previews night. So let me break it down. So Comic Con kind of runs Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wednesday being preview night. So preview nights where they kind of just let people in for about 3 or 4 hours. It's the shortest day to kind of see an overview of all the booths. You can buy stuff, usually not the exclusives, until the next day, but all the other merch that they have for sale. So it's kind of a pretty easygoing day. Not many people are able to get tickets to Wednesday previews night. I forget what the process is, but when I get into ticketing, I'll kind of go over it. But yeah, so I just kind of walked around. Well, first, I landed early in the morning, went to the hotel, and then me and a couple of other people we actually met and became friends with at the previous years of San Diego Comic Con. We go to this restaurant. We kind of stuck with the same one for the past like 5 or 6 years I've been going. It's called Lazy Bone. It's a brewery, and they have all kind of like different kind of foods. See, like for example, they have like I think it's like elk meatloaf, and it's pretty good, really tasty. They have all kind of sorts of options for all different kinds of people. They have like this candied bacon. They like deep make this bacon like crispy, and it's kind of coated in sugar, and it's like candy. It's really weird, but I enjoy going as kind of different kind of taste than I have at home. Um, so yeah, previews day is kind of a pretty quick day. Um, I bought a couple of things. I go crazy and spend way too much on previews day, and then for the other days I have no money. But this year I was good. Kind of honed in my collecting a little bit for those who don't know how crazy I was when I first started the major group. But yeah, so that was previews day, kind of quick. I went with my brother for this trip, so we kind of hung around a little bit, and with the people that we met from the previous years, we kind of just stick with them and have kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, like buddy system going on, so no one's kind of alone, or everyone kind of knows where they are. So I'll get more into that with the preparation part. So next is Thursday, which is day one, the official day one. I had a couple of things that I had planned specifically this day. Like I won some of the lotteries. I'll get into that more later with the tips and tricks, but there's a lottery system, and that's how you win some of the exclusives for some of these booths. Mainly the bigger companies like Mattel or Entertainment Earth or Jazzwares or something like that. So I had the Entertainment Earth exclusive win for that day, Thursday, and also Sunday. But I ended up only using the one. But it's good to have two sometimes if there's multiple things you do want from those booths. So that day is also the Mattel WWE panel day. So I had to work that into my schedule. So that was kind of the first thing that I did because it was at 11:15, I believe, in the morning. So like as soon as you get in, because it's a mad dash to get in and then line up or get whatever exclusives you want that first day. Um, Usually when you think you're the only one going there, you're not. There's a million other people. But Mattel, is important to me and WWE. So wanted to make sure I got to that booth. So that was the first thing I did was line up. It was room like 6A, I believe it was, like ballroom 6A, I think it was. And last year I got in and I was like second row and it was like pretty easy to get into like a couple hours early. But this year for some reason everyone was there, so I was kind of a little farther back in the line, but it wasn't too bad. I got like fourth row, and when I was waiting in line, I actually ran into a another major mark, rather famous major mark, Kyle Peterson, known for his insane and amazing just collection in general. Um, Please follow him on his YouTube channel. Just search Kyle Peterson, and you can't miss it. I mean, this guy is incredible. I wish like he's every collector's like dream, like how your setup should be. But I ran into him and I let him sneak in the line with me. It was good to not be alone anymore because I was alone and my brother was off doing his stuff. I think he was doing like a lost. There's like a lost panel or something that day. I forget, but so yeah, I got to kind of catch up with Kyle. I never really formally met him in person, I don't think. Sorry if I forgot. I might have been drunk from one of the live shows or something, but yeah, it was good to see him and kind of talk to him. And it was his first Comic Con, so got to kind of tell him about my experiences and hopefully it helped him with his. Um, but yeah, so we kind of just waited in line for a little while, and then it was time to go in. And David C. Anderson popped in, and he got to sit with us, and it was just cool to kind of be around major marks for Mattel. So we got to see Sweaty Bill and Steve Ozer. On stage, and then of course Sam Roberts, and then he had Johnny Gargano of the Elite Squad. And then he pulled in his guests, so we had Seth and Mick Foley, and then who popped in later with that cackle? Chelsea Green. She kind of crashed the panel, if you will, and it was awesome. They revealed her figures, her first elites, which were really really cool. I was really excited about those. Really excited for her. Being kind of, I don't know. I think they were trying to figure it out, but one of the only ones to have both a chase in elite and basic form. Correct me if I'm totally off on that, but it was pretty cool. Seth got to hold his cool figures coming out, and surprising Mick Foley with his Three Faces of Foley set from Mattel was pretty incredible as well. So that was cool to see and hear their like kind of reactions to them, and get excited like kind of we are as fans. And then after it's over, I tried to see if I could get a little pic with Chels because I wanted to see her with the title. And then she was pretty pumped to see me, and I got a picture with her, and I told her pretty much congratulations. I know she was super busy and probably had to get out of there to go to the meet and greet, but it was really cool. She took the time to talk to me and take a little pic with me, and a lot of people were with her, so it was really cool to see her again and see her like happy, and well, at least it seemed she seems happy and doing really well. So she's got the tag title, so look at that. um let's see what else. Let me look at my list. I got a little cheat sheet because there's so much that happened. Okay, so then I was just kind of wandering around, and I ran into Bacon Nate. I think he was waiting outside because he tried to get into the Mattel panel, and they they filled it up, and there's no seats left. I tried, and people are pretty ruthless at San Diego Comic Con, so um, I ran into Bacon Nate. We kind of hung out like pretty much for like a majority of the rest of the day, which was awesome. You know, getting to see so many major marks in one day. Um, so then we kind of just were wandering around. I think he wanted to go and pick something up, and we were walking by the Jazzwares booth, and we happened to see Jeremy Padower, just kind of standing there. I think he was doing an interview, and then we realized it was oh no, wait, it was the other way around. It was, we saw DCA and Kyle, and then we realized they were talking to Jeremy. Oh man, I am shot today. I promise I haven't been drinking today. um, so yeah, and they were talking to Jeremy, like, wow. And then Jeremy kind of walked off. So we're like, oh, let's, kind of go, um, just say hi to him. Like, I've never met him before, and I've always wanted to. I love the AW figures and everything. So kind of went up to him, and he was talking to us for a good minute and got a little quick picture, and then we found out that he. I feel so bad. Kyle and DC, I think, were still interviewing him, and they were. I think we interrupted them. I feel bad. Sorry, guys. If you do listen to this, I apologize if we ruined any of your interview. Um, but yeah, so like, and Jeremy was super cool. We got to get some of the exclusives. It was pretty cool. I grabbed a Sting. I'd show it to you, but it's being shipped to me because I bought too much stuff. More on that later. And I got my brother. He has a godson, and he's into Star Wars. So these kind of little mini Star Wars, um, like the ships, the spaceships. So I got the TIE Interceptor, I believe it was, for him, and more on that later. It was a little crazy to get him on the later days, but I'll tell you more about that later. So we after we did that, we kind of just hung out, looking at my cheat sheet. I went to Entertainment Earth exclusives. I had won that in the lottery. I got, let's see, I think I have it right here. So they had a couple of different things. For the life of me, I can't think of it right now. I'm sure it'll come to me. But this is one of the ones I really wanted, which was this. They're called Cos Babies. I guess because they're like, look like they're like little kid versions of them, but I don't see it. But of Michael Keaton Batman from The Flash. I just kind of like the style of it. It wasn't like too hard to get. Usually some of the exclusives were just like crazy. And I think, oh, I got something for my brother from that. I think it was like um, a Boo Berry like glow in the dark figure. I can't for the life of me remember the other thing I got my brother, but it'll probably come to me later. Man, my brain's shot. I'm still adjusting the time zones from this, but so then I think, and then I parted ways with Bacon Nate to go to Ziggler, I believe was the first. No, Nate was with me. So uh, yeah, he went with me to meet Dolph Ziggler. That was at the Headlocked booth. Earlier, I had actually picked up a print from them, which I have right here. Making sure I don't destroy anything. They had these limited edition signed prints drawn by I keep forgetting his name. He's a great dude. He's done the Fig Story, the Major Pod Fig Story comics. He does all these awesome like comic and movie inspired comics and prints, and he's incredible. But he had these highly exclusive signed prints. One I believe is a 1 in 5, and I think one is a 1 in 10 or 20. So this was the 1 in 10 or 20. It's Rhea Ripley. Um, the artwork is awesome, and it is signed by her. And it was a hell of a great price on it. And he usually only does these kind of things for conventions. He'll do like exclusive prints, and then whatever he has left over, he'll sell at other cons. But the 1 in 5, I believe, if it's 5, I hope it's 5. It's probably 5. Is this one signed by Judgment Day? So I actually bought the Rhea one first, and then I just kept thinking about this one, and I was like, kind of like how she has her more like longer hair look in this one. She has the title, um, and all of Judgment Day with them. I like every member, so I kind of went back and grabbed it, and I knew I kind of had to get it. So signed by all of them: Dirty Dom, Rhea. You got Finn and Damian Priest. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to have these. The other thing he had, which was an exclusive, which sold out pretty quick. I have it in the back of this. It's a comic book. It's the Tales of the Road, Patch Wolverine and Hulk. I think it was Mr. Fix-It Hulk parody with it's Brody King and Danhausen. I had to get it. Big Wolverine and Hulk fan, and big Danhausen and Brody King fan. So excited to kind of check it out. But grabbed all those from Headlocked. They were all great prices. He, doesn't really. I don't think he really gouges on prices or like. This Rhea print was only $60, and this one was like $130. So, kind of a steal for all their signatures. And I know it's not meeting them, but you get some cool artwork and cool signatures. But I've been rambling on about that. Put these back for later. Okay. So so let's get on. So Ziggler, I met Dolph Ziggler. He was super cool. He kind of saw all my major pod stuff, and he said he hoped that I was a Matt Cardona fan. But he was really cool. Like, we kind of, just talked major stuff for a few minutes, and it was really cool. Really happy with the experience. And this is what I got signed by him. There it is, right in front of my face. Okay, so I got the newest SummerSlam Elite. This is, I think, the first Dolph figure that I own, besides the basic 2-pack with Matt, with Broski. First Elite Ziggler. He signed it. I should have had him personalize it, but I'm happy with it. I'm happy with how it came out. I'm not selling it. It's mine. Made it home safe. That's like one of the most important parts. So pretty pumped about that. The price was great. Can't complain at all. Ziggler, the man. Okay. So next, I think that was it for the day. I think that's when I went. I went to In-N-Out Burger. My brother was at the Lost thing at that time, and I went with my friend Mike. From the previous years. So we went. It's always crowded. I love it. It's always good. Always fills me up. I don't have them by me in Connecticut, so it's really the only time I can get it. Really on these major trips, or when I go to California. So that was great. Got back and kind of just chilled in my room waiting for my brother to get back. And then we got dinner. So we ordered Uber Eats. We got, what was it called? Lupe's Tacos. And it was like I said, local taco shop. And whenever I go on these trips, stuff that, can only be found in the area. a more authentic, I should say. So I got a couple of al pastor tacos and I think a carne taco, and it was awesome. Definitely give the place high marks. Definitely recommend it. Lupe's Tacos, it was called, somewhere in the let's see, I stayed in Mission Valley, so somewhere in the Mission Valley area. Um, Great tacos. I could be totally off my mark too, and people think it's horrible who live there, but I liked it. So next is day two, Friday. Um, I didn't have too much planned for this day. I just had the there's a Kevin Smith signing. He had a couple of like photo ops and signings kind of scheduled. It was at Tin Roof, good old Tin Roof. I'd only been to the Orlando one. This one's the San Diego one, obviously, and it was really kind of in the middle of the city. Not like kind of how in Orlando is kind of in a little like vacation kind of touristy area. um, this is kind of a little smaller than that one. Um, but yeah, I did that later on in the day. Pretty much, I started the day off just kind of walking around the floor, buying stuff. Of course, um, I did. Let's see. So they converted the tin roof into, if you're a fan of Kevin Smith movies, there's a fictional kind of let me see, I have it here, fictional fast food restaurant, kind of a parody of McDonald's and Disney World a little bit. If you've seen Dogma, you kind of know what I mean. Um, but it's called Moobies. So I actually saved the bag from it. I kept it in good shape. It wasn't like greasy or anything. But there's me. There's my order. I got a cow tipper with tots, no mustard. I don't like mustard. Um, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I just had to, save it as a little memento. But so start off the day. So they had a little merch stand set up of stuff you could get signed. I only did the signing, so there's no photo included. But it was only $40 to meet Kevin Smith, so I wasn't gonna pass up on that. He's been kind of an inspiration to me as a filmmaker since I was a kid. And my brother kind of got me into him, so I bought him a ticket too. So they had these like rolling trays, but it was like Blunt Man and Chronic, and he got the Blunt Man one, because it just, the artwork on it was cool. I don't think he rolls. um, I actually was crazy and I bought a $100 Silent Bob pop because I had no clue that it was worth that much. I just kind of wanted a normal Silent Bob. I'll go through this kind of later on, but I thought I was forgetting something this whole trip, and that was what I was forgetting, was to bring something for him to sign. I had a couple things at home I would have loved to get signed, but it just slipped my mind. So sometimes, for these trips, usually I forget like at least one thing. So, but I, got a Silent Bob pop. So we waited a while in this line, but it was totally worth the wait. If you're a Kevin Smith fan and you have the chance to meet Kevin Smith, do it. So my experience was, you kind of, it's your turn to go up. As soon as you walk up, he puts his arms out. He wants a hug. You give him a hug, if that's your thing. If you want a hug, sure, he wouldn't mind if you didn't. But which was pretty cool, and we kind of just talked about random stuff, and I kind of told him how I got introduced to him, and he was loving it. Then he asked what was in my bag I was holding, and just showed him a couple of the exclusives I had, and then there was kind of he took a lot of time with the first couple people in the line. So then of course, like, his people were like, we gotta keep it moving or whatever. So he kind of had to let me go a little earlier than I wanted, but I still, even after he's done, he gives you a hug again before you leave. And I had to tell him, I said, by the way, Affleck was the bomb as Batman, just like in Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And he was like, fuck yeah, man. It's probably like one of the greatest, interactions I've had with like kind of celebrities. So definitely, one for the books. So then kind of you go downstairs and um, we wanted to get something to eat. We hadn't eaten all day. So we ate movies, which I showed you from my bag. So they also had, I'd show you the can, but it's being shipped as well. They had a exclusive beer. It was the Chronic Con beer, and it had Blunt Man and Chronic, and like kind of like an old style cartoon, like heads, just like their heads popping out of a circle, like an old cartoon, like Bugs Bunny or something, on it. So it was a pretty cool can. So I had that, and then my brother was going to get his food, and wouldn't you know it, Kevin Smith comes downstairs, and he's just taking selfies with everyone down the sitting at the bar down the line, and I'm telling my brother, I'm like, Matt, come here, Matt, um, and he, I got his food or whatever, came over, got my selfie with Kevin Smith. He grabs your phone, took some pretty funny pics, um, and he was just great. Like just a awesome experience. Like I was kicking myself. I didn't buy the photo op, and lo and behold, he took a selfie of my own phone. So couldn't really ask for anything better than that. I think we went back and then we just explored a little more, and then bought a couple of things probably, and um, then we went back, and then I think that night we got Jack in the Box. Wasn't we did Uber Eats, wasn't the best experience. The Jack in the Box people forgot one of the sodas, and then I got these tiny tacos. Do you get like 15 little mini tacos in a box? And they usually put like lettuce on it, and then the sauce, and like the lettuce makes it all soggy. So tried to have them remove it. They left it on. Whatever. I ate it anyway. Um, but wasn't the best Jack in the Box experience, but still needed to eat, so had to do it. We don't have Jack in the Box by me at home, so really the only time I can get it is up. Um, it's fast food, I get it. Next, let's see, Saturday, day 3. Um, I had just one thing kind of planned for that day. Um, I watched this anime called One Piece, about this kid who wants to become king of the pirates. It's really great. Recommend it, even if you aren't like a huge anime fan. If you're like a big fantasy adventure fan, worth the watch. The American voice of the main character Luffy, was there. Her name is what was it? Stephanie Schroeder, I believe her name is. Stephanie Erica Schroeder. Erica Schroeder. If I'm blowing a blank. Erica Schroeder. How many times am I gonna say Erica Schroeder? Erica Schroeder. um so that was like kind of later in the day, so I kind of just like walked around. I think I was trying to get Jazzware ticket for my brother, and I got one, or he got one, and he couldn't make it, so he gave me the ticket to try, and then I kind of was like just killing time to till my time on the ticket. But by the time like it was even close to my ticket time, all the things he wanted were sold out, so I just didn't even go. So I kind of just ran around, just explored until my signing. Did that. It was really awesome. She was super cool. We were chatting for a good while. Got a photo. She signed. I got a. Here, I got it right here. I got a statue signed. Let me pull it out. Too much stuff. Let's see. Okay. Alright. So this is how I packed it for the plane. It was the only thing I could think of to keep it safe. It's a pop, like a double pop protector, but one of like the fancy ones. So there's the statue, and then there's the signature. I like how she uses both color paint pens to kind of make a cool, her signature even cooler. I notice a lot of anime voice actors know about the paint pens, and they use them highly to their advantage. Like they make some really cool, signatures with them, and I love the people that do that. I know like Matt and Brian and Mark, they utilize the paint pens and are willing to do different colors and stuff. I love when people put in the time to do that. It shows like they kind of care about what you want signed, and especially if they know you're not like selling it, if you're not like a scalper or something. Like I'm keeping that in my collection forever. Like I would probably never sell until maybe I'm like crazy old, or give it to my kids if I have any, like you know that kind of stuff. So let's see. Yeah, so kind of just did that, and then kind of just explored the rest of the day. Usually every Saturday, every year of when I go to Comic Con, me and my brother go to this restaurant in the Gaslamp District, kind of right down the street from the convention center. Because if you didn't know, they closed like this whole part of the city for this convention. Like the whole city's like just Comic Coned out. They have like they call them off sites. They have stuff to do like outside, all different like museums and like different centers and stuff like that. They hold panels and events, and like it's a whole thing. It's a whole like festival, I guess you could kind of say, for pop culture. Like it's the biggest one for a reason. So all these different places kind of go all out for it. So um, they go crazy. So yeah, so down in the Gaslamp District, they kind of have all these restaurants, and they do Comic Con specials, and they have all this other stuff. But we go to this place called Cafe Sevilla. It's a tapas restaurant, um, and I it's awesome. The food is great. It's expensive, but it's worth it. You get to try a whole bunch of different stuff and kind of share it with whoever you're going with. You get these like kind of chorizo meatballs. They have, I got this like meat skewer on a, like they hang it like from a stick. It's pretty crazy. They have really good drinks. I always get a fresh sangria. They have really good margaritas and old fashions. Um, and they do their kind of own like twist on them. So it's really good. I recommend it if you do go to San Diego, even not for Comic Con. Go to Cafe Sevilla. Inside, we sat outside just to people watch, because all on the street is all the people in the cosplays and getting wild. So um, inside, they do live music and they have dancing, and it's a great atmosphere, and it's really good. I highly recommend it. So then for the last day, was kind of just a pretty quick day. I had pretty much seen everything I'd wanted to this year. Due to the writers' strike, there weren't as many panels. Like the Hall H panels are like the big thing every year. They didn't have that many this year, because of the writers' strike. So that's like 2 days where I didn't have to dedicate my time to it. I'll go into it more with the tips and tricks, but so like by Sunday I'd seen everything I wanted to do. Like I'd pretty much bought everything I really like saw that I wanted to buy. So I kind of just like walked around with my friend Mike one last time just to see if there's anything I missed, and there really wasn't. So we ended up just going to get lunch, and we went to this El Salvadorian food spot. And I've never had El Salvadorian food before, but I'm always down to try like new foods, and I love it. I love it so much because I end up finding like flavors I've never like experienced before. It's really interesting to me and really good, and like see if I can, with my kind of years of work in the restaurant, see if I could maybe replicate it at home and make it for myself. but we went there and it was amazing. I got a horchata, which is kind of like a milk, almost like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like I have like a cinnamon like milk like churro almost tasting drink. It's so good. Um, I got these. They're kind of like I don't want to say the names because I'll butcher them. Out of respect of how good the food was. They're these things. They were kind of like uh, they were like pancakes, but I think it was dough instead of like pancake like batter. I guess pancake batter is kind of like dough, but these were more like dough consistency, and they were stuffed with like meat and cheese and like scallions and um like sauce, and it was so good. I'll have to ask my friend Mike how to pronounce it or like what it exactly was, so I can recommend if anyone's curious. And then we had these things that were like tamales. They're pretty much tamales, but instead of wrapped in a corn stalk, they're wrapped in a banana leaf. So they're a little more. The consistency is a little less like mushy. I guess it's a little more tough. Like the consistency was like amazing. It just melts in your mouth. It was so good. Highly recommend that spot. I don't remember the name of it. My friend kind of just took me there. I didn't really see the name. But I'll have to look it up. And um, if you're looking for try El Salvadorian food, that spot was really good. My friend Mike is from California, from the San Diego area, so um, he's lived there pretty much his whole life, so he knows the spots, I guess. So, and then that's pretty much it for San Diego. The following day, I went to Disney, um, which was kind of a thing me and my brother started doing. Our second year, we started going to San Diego Comic Con. I think we're on our like fifth or sixth year now. But yeah, we do Disney the last day, and that was a great experience as always. We just do the Indiana Jones ride pretty much because it doesn't have it in Florida. And we did the Tower of Terror, the Guardians breakout. That's also not in Florida, but they have the far superior Galaxy Rewind, and they have Tron. But California has some good ones too. But it's pretty cool because it's a little smaller. The park's smaller, so you could kind of um, get to everything you want kind of quicker, and we got to pretty much everything we wanted to see. So that's it for my kind of overview. I'm probably missing some things, but that's pretty much like a typical like day at Comic Con. It's just kind of a bunch of different things, running around to like a bunch of different booths and going to a bunch of different scheduled things. This year, I will say, was a lot more mellow than the previous years because of the writer's strike. So I don't know if like people canceled on things because they thought it wasn't going to be good, or not as many people came, but it was still pretty chaotic. Like Sunday, for some reason, was crazy busy, and usually it's not like that busy, but even Saturday was pretty tame. I'd say like I can usually like you're shoulder to shoulder, you can't get through people, like you can't get anywhere, like you find the cracks. Like this year, like you can make it through. So um who knows, but it was kind of more of a mellow year, so it's kind of nice, like it didn't stress out as much. So all right, so here's my tips and tricks um section. It's gonna be the conclusion of this episode. I don't want to to go too crazy for you, but I kind of just wanted to kind of go through like the process of like getting tickets, and like things you should do if you were planning on going, because I have a lot of people who are like, oh, like I always want to go, or I always try to go, and I've never been, I don't know what it's like, and maybe this will help some people want to go, or help some people who like are planning to go and you need help. So ticket ordering, as far as I remember, it was like you have to fill out an application, you have to kind of sign up. I think like New York has this with like a fan verification. It's kind of a similar thing. You have to like make like a profile, and then when they are ready to sell the tickets, they send you a link in your email for that time, and then you're in like a virtual waiting room, and then whenever it's your turn, if you ever get in, um, you buy your tickets. If things didn't sell out. Um, my first year, I was extremely lucky. My first year, I got in, um, and I got all the days. I got previews. I got all of them, which is pretty rare. I hear a lot of people don't get previews or don't get like the ability to actual buy the tickets their first time. So like me and my brother are extremely fortunate. The other thing to consider is if you created a fan profile thing, uh, if you have a friend that already has bought tickets at Comic Con before, there's a pre-sale, a general sale, and then I think a new member sale. I could be off about it, but I know there's a pre-sale at least. So once you've bought tickets before, you can go in the pre-sale before everyone else. It's like a perk you have. So you can buy tickets for other people and then assign them to their member ID profile. Kind of like same thing with New York Comic Con. They do the same thing. Like my brother's bought my tickets. I think the previous years. I think he got in before me. But this year I had a pro badge, professional badge. There's different badge types. Professional badge is like only certain people can apply for. I think like teachers and um, people in those kinds of fields. My brother's a teacher, so we got those. They're essentially free tickets, so it was kind of nice not having to pay for them this year. First year I've had them like this. All the other years I've had to buy them. I think it's usually like I forget how much each ticket is, but it's pretty expensive for all the days. I think it's close to like $500. Um, but totally worth it. Kind of like you need to. I recommend you totally go to all the days. Maybe not previews. Like if you get previews, great. But going all the days because there's just so much to do and see, and um, that's how you're able to do and get everything you want. Out of your trip. Um, so yeah, there's professional badges. There's regular, just a regular badge. There's a press badge. If you have podcast or newspaper or anything like that, if you're one of those, you can get the press badge usually. Don't quote me on this, but I had a buddy who had a press badge and he was able to cut the lines. He got me into one year they had a Blade Runner 2049 kind of experience. And I was with him, and they let us right in, and there's a huge line. So I'm guessing the press badge has some sort of priority over everyone else, I guess, because you're previewing it for your whatever you work for. So maybe I could do it since I have a podcast. So maybe one year I'll try it. And then I think there's like exhibitor badges or vendor badges. That's like if you have a booth to sell stuff, or I think also like maybe artist from Artist Alley is that's kind of maybe in the same category. As far as I remember, I don't think exhibitors can apply for the lotteries. I think it's only for like everyone else. That might be me confusing with New York Comic Con or vice versa. I'm not sure, but as far as I know, exhibitors and vendors cannot do the exclusives, but I could be totally wrong. Next, I'll get into like hotels and getting to the con. So even with the hotels, there is a kind of a pre-sale and a not like a lottery, but like they have like a special time that you have to go. They have like an early bird time and everything, and that's to get the best hotels. You want to be as close as you are to the convention center. I forget what hotel it is, but it's literally right next door to the convention center, and that's always the one that goes first, but it's also the most expensive one. I think it's like at least 600 a night, at least. And you got to think you're there, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we stayed the extra day, so Monday. So that's 6 days or so, and um, that's a lot of money. um, so we ended up just because it was the only thing that we were left with. We have it's a Mission Valley Hilton. It's about a 20 30 minute like drive from, like, if you take an Uber or like whatever, um from the convention center. So it's not really ideal, um but it's better because it's cheaper and it's still like fairly close. There are shuttles that go throughout all the hotels. Doesn't matter which one. um like, so when this hotel sale goes on sale, there's these hotels that are kind of in the like Comic-Con like circle, I'll say. Like, they're like, I don't want to say authorized, but like they're like known by Comic-Con, let's say that. So they have buses that have all different routes that go to all these different hotels to bring you to the convention and go for the convention and back. um so we were the purple line um bus. I think one year we were pink line, this year purple line. um so keep in mind also that they stop at, certain ones have a certain amount of hotels, but keep in mind that for your traveling time, they stop at all these hotels along the way. So, you could be looking at anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, um, just to get to the actual convention from your hotel, if you're far like me. So keep that in mind. If you don't mind spending the money, I highly recommend you go for one of those close hotels. They're super hard to get because everyone goes for them every year. Um, but if you don't mind, the extra time and getting up a little earlier, get a cheaper hotel that's in the Comic Con, recognized by Comic Con. So, um, yeah. Also, so booking flights is always um, can be a pain for Comic Con because they're usually everyone goes. So many people go to Comic Con, the prices are blown up. So, we spent a good amount for ours, and we booked ours pretty last minute. So, keep that in mind too. Um, Next thing is making your schedule and lotteries. So making your schedule, I recommend not making your schedule until after um, the lotteries are done. They usually do the lotteries fairly close to like the actual convention dates, but usually like a week or week and a half before, so you have time to still make your schedule. But I recommend this website. So there's a website called SDCCblog.com. Um, they kind of take all the news, Comic Con news, whether it's exclusives, whether it's panels, offsites, where to find food, all that stuff. They have tips and tricks of their own. That's the site I use to kind of look at what's going on. It's kind of like a little database of like almost everything. I mean, there's always stuff that gets added last minute or stuff that um, doesn't get reported there. That's like on like a certain celebrity's Instagram, for example, or something like that. But for the most part, they can help you with your schedule. I usually make a list of things. Write down booth numbers is super important. Um, things that you want to see or things that you want to buy. Exclusives they start announcing pretty early on, so you can start making your list and planning and seeing if it's going to be a lottery and whatever. So the reason why I um, say to make your schedule after the lottery is because for the lottery, for like companies like Mattel or like Funko, like that have multiple slots, um, you you could pick a time slot. So I'd say um, you if there's some panel you want to go to, try not to enter the lottery for a time slot that's kind of near that panel, because You got to account for traveling from the panel to that, whatever exclusive it is, wherever that booth is. It's this is why it's crazy, because it's the travel time, even like inside the convention center, is like a factor to consider, because there's just so much. um so let me go over the lotteries before I continue with the schedule part. So the lotteries, so after you make your profile, you buy your tickets. On your your member profile, there will be an exclusives portal, it's called. And they'll have a list when they finally put them up. They'll have a list of all the things that all the companies that are doing a lottery for their exclusives, usually the bigger companies. So like Mattel, Entertainment Earth. There's a company, UCC Distributions. They do like a bunch of Squishmallows and Funko Pop exclusives. Um, Jazzwares did it last year. They didn't do it this year. I'll go through that after. Um, a bunch of other companies. So pretty much you pick your time slots. And that gives you a certain amount of points per day. So I think like Thursday you get like 7 to distribute, and then every other day it's 12 for the bigger days. So put more points towards what you want. I'm not sure how it works, if it's all if it's just random, or if it's like, oh, okay, like this guy put this amount of points toward this, we're gonna give it to him. I don't know, but I made the mistake and kind of spread out my points this year. I wish I had kind of dedicated more points towards like one specific thing. But it's so hard when there's so many exclusives that you'd want. So it picks you based on the points you distribute for each thing. So then once you get picked for those, then I'd say make your schedule. Be like, okay, this day, this. Okay, this day is on multiple days. Maybe I should do it this day. I use the notepad on my iPhone. I'm not sure if Androids have a notepad like that. I know a lot of people do like Excel spreadsheets. Um, I don't usually have the time to do it, like color code and everything, but it's a great idea. If you have the time, and like I recommend doing that. Um, things pop up, people add things last minute, people cancel last minute. So it's good to just always have an easy accessible list to kind of be able to update, um, and write down like things you want to buy, or if you like saw something and like they you saw at a certain booth, you could write down the booth number, the row it's in, and kind of help yourself. So um, yeah, making a schedule, I think, is kind of essential for Comic Con. Like, if you want to go in blind and just like be free and just go around, like, sure, but I mean, like, if you plan on ever getting exclusives, like, it's gonna be a little harder. I mean, you could get extremely lucky. Uh, so besides the lotteries, there are other companies. The biggest example is Jazzwares this year. They did a ticketing system. So some of these companies will sometimes they'll give out tickets at certain times randomly. If you go near the booth, Jazzwares did a little something different this year. They had kind of their people like walking around the convention, like kind of close but not, and they were wearing Jazzwares shirts. You went up to them, they have a ticket, you could get one. So that's how they did theirs. So like other places will do that too. Like if there's a comic artist and he's going to be at a booth, they'll like give out tickets at distribution at a certain time, and it's mayhem because everyone's running trying to get a ticket, and it's like trying to find the Power Rangers on Christmas in 1993, like crazy. Um, and no one ever like they always tell you no running, no running, no like trampling, whatever, but people go crazy once those like tickets start getting distributed. So look out for those. Usually on that SDCC blog site, they will tell you what's ticketed and what's not, or if it changes or such. So let's see what's next. um I have planned for exclusives and also meet and greets. um Meet and greets are typically a lottery system as well. Some years it's ticketed, like I said. Other years it's in the lottery. This year, really, there weren't many signings because of the writer's strike, so a lot were canceled. But WWE did theirs through Mattel. It was, you got to meet everyone on the panel. You got to meet Seth and uh, Mick and Chelsea and everyone who was there. Johnny and Candace was there too. Um, and they usually have like a poster um, they have for you to get signed. A lot of these, some of these signings, they won't let you bring like a personal item. It's good to ask before if you know you're going, but most of the time it's like whatever they have. A lot of the time it's these lotteries for signings, but sometimes like some booths will host signings, like Headlock did with Dolph Ziggler. They also had Danhausen and Brody King there. I think Sergeant Slaughter and Jake the Snake were there for a video game, a new wrestling video game. Um, there were, the dog that played Cosmo in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was there, like the actual dog, not the voice, the dog. Um, and the girl who played Tony Stark's daughter in Endgame, the I Love You 3000 girl. She was there. She couldn't sign anything for Marvel, I guess, because of the writer's strike. But for those, it's like just cash or card. They'll have ones like that too. But like the big ones are usually a lottery or a ticket for it. Um, Plan for your exclusives. If you win a certain time, work it into your schedule. See if if it's not linked to your badge or anything like that, like or your ID. Like see if a friend can do it for you. This was something that they had at DC that I'm kicking myself I didn't buy two of because I would keep one in the box and open one. They had these Dark Knight. I think they're gonna be available to everyone, but these are like the first to public ones with the gold sticker signifies. So it's the bank robber Joker from Dark Knight and the Bane with the fur coat from Dark Knight Rises. There's the gold sticker. I wish I'd bought a second of the bank robber Joker. I might end up opening this one, but it's good to have. Like that's the thing with the exclusives, like especially if they do like the first public ones and then release one later. Sometimes the boxes will be like a lot cooler than the ones they release to the public. Um, like those, I planned for those. That was just a booth you kind of just like line up for. They open up the line at a certain time. You have to make sure you're at the right time, right place. A lot of the time, I find myself circling around a booth because they won't let you stand. That's the thing too. Like, they try to keep the traffic moving, and they don't want, for fire codes, they don't want it to get shut down. So like, they don't want people to bunch up around the booths and clog it up and cause problems. So um, they tell you to keep moving, and I hear a lot of guards joking about this to each other. They say like, go take a walk, up the row and then walk back and see if it's good. Take a walk up, walk back. Like do it fast. Like don't run, but like do it because, you don't want to miss that window, but you also like don't want to muck up, the area. So I literally just for when they were doing the Jazzware tickets, I literally just circled around the DC booth. I circled around. I just circled around the booth until the opening came up or I saw movement. And I got right in. I got those. And usually they give out like kind of exclusive stuff too, like while you're waiting in line or while you're or if you buy something they give you stuff. So like I got this cool Batman Spawn comic with these DC figures, so pretty excited about that. um so yeah, plan for exclusives, especially if it's something you really want. I know sometimes they sell them online too, but you know try to plan for those if it's something you're really excited for. Food. Um, I mean, I will say this at Comic Con. I mean, unless you like want to pay, like $20 for chicken figures, like really like just stadium food, like not even like good stadium food, like the bad stadium food. I mean, you could do that, but like I bring like granola bars with me throughout the day, and then when I'm done with the con, I go out for lunch somewhere. I go out to dinner. So I highly recommend that. I recommend trying the food. There's plenty of like awesome food spots like around the area, around the convention center, or you can go like if your hotel is somewhere else, you can go somewhere and just get really good food over there. Just normal vacation stuff. I mean, like to get food. You've all, I'm sure, been on vacation. Like, I don't need to explain this, but I will say the food is really good in San Diego. It's one of my favorite places to eat. I look forward to the food every year I go because I can't find really like stuff like that by me, or even if I drive a couple hours any distance, like unless people are holding out on me. So um what to bring? Okay, so I've learned many years from going to Comic Con. I kind of just like cracked the code this year on like my fifth or sixth year. Previous years I brought like very minimal, and that was a horrible idea. I ended up having to buy an extra suitcase to like ship things home. At Comic Con, they actually have a shipping service. It's FedEx, where if you buy too much stuff, you can ship it. It always makes me nervous because like I'm afraid when they pack it, they're gonna destroy like an exclusive or something like that. So, but they usually do a good job. I haven't really had any horror stories with it. But with the amount I bought, because I went crazy my first year, I spent thousands. My first year it was not a good, not good. Um, I bought so much stuff. I think the shipping was like over $100 on because the box was so big. It took like a couple weeks to come. Um, you could always ship stuff, but I just keep in mind it's gonna be a little pricey. Um, I cracked the code. I think so. I bring my suitcase with my clothes. I bring the extra suitcase that I actually bought there, so I don't have to ship anything. I check it. My brother does the same thing. He brings an extra suitcase, and then we put like our overflow stuff, like whatever we want to ship. Not ship. Whatever we want to pack up to go home, we just put in that, and then whatever we don't fit in that, whether it's very minimal, we just ship it or have our friend Mike ship it. But I'd say bring an extra suitcase for your stuff, especially if you want it to get home safe. Um, bring a lot of clothes. It's hot. It gets hot. So you might want to change a couple of times. Don't over bring clothes like I usually do. This year I was pretty good. Let's see. I recommend bringing. I actually have this stool I bought on Amazon. It's kind of in a shape of like a disc, and then you like pull it out like an accordion, and it makes like a stool. It locks. It was $25 on Amazon. It was probably the best thing I've ever got for the convention because like with all the lines and everything, or if like you want to sit down in the lobby in the proper space, like just to like catch a breath, um, and don't want to sit on the uncomfortable floor, these stools are pretty great. They could fit in a backpack easily, not take up much room, or dangle off your backpack, whatever you want, or wear it over your shoulder, whatever. So I recommend getting one of those. Definitely brings like a granola bar, like jerky or something to like bring with you to hold you over till you like eat a real meal. Um, you know, drink plenty of water. You're gonna be waiting in lines. It's hot out. Um, and then bring a backpack just for whatever you buy throughout the convention. Plenty of money. A lot of places don't take cash. I would bring a little bit of both cash and card. It's a mix of the both. Um, so that's kind of like what I recommend to bring. It's pretty simple like traveling stuff, but like this is stuff like for the convention itself. I don't recommend bringing anything too crazy because you're going to be like walking around a lot. You're going to be jumping from location to location. Sometimes you're going to be outside, so you don't want to like tire yourself out. Um, Sometimes if there's enough time, if I buy too much stuff, I'll take the shuttle back to my room, drop stuff off, come back. Usually it takes like an hour. Um, that's also another option you could do if you buy too much stuff. But um, I just wanted to kind of show off, not show off, but just show you some of the things they have, like things you can, examples of things you could buy. Some of the things I've gotten. So there's these bags they give out at like a lot of booths. These will be your friends a lot of the time, especially if you buy a lot of stuff. So every year they give out. There's a certain company that'll kind of sponsor. That'll be like the main sponsor, Comic Con almost, or like one they pick. So this year it was like Fox, Disney, like Freeform, all those Hulu. So this year they had all their like Fox like animated shows themes for the bags. So they had like Family Guy, it was Futurama, Simpsons, all those Fox animated shows. That's the one they give you. There's a separate line to get that. They give you this. They give you like a guidebook, a quick guide, and then a guide with all the like booths in it. So like that will be also be your friend. Then there's also booths that give out free bags. Like Dark Horse, and this day was Hellboy. Other days was Stranger Things. Other days, it was whatever other comics they have. These bags are great because they're sturdy, and they're good for carrying a lot of stuff. They can also help you relieve stress from your back, or if you have something important, they're good for protecting it. They're also good for cushioning for your suitcase for shipping stuff back home, so it doesn't get damaged. So, and they're flat, so they pack up easily. And then usually if you buy something at one of the booths, they'll give you a bag as well, an exclusive bag. So like this, for example, Jazz wears, so you see the San Diego Comic-Con branded. And surprisingly enough, people get these, they sell them on eBay, and they make money off these free bags. Like, I know you had to buy something to get them, but it's a free bag that you get for, buying whatever. So like, people sell them on eBay. These ones, these backpack ones, I forgot to say it's also a backpack. The ones they give you, there have been ones for producers that are really cool. I have like Batman vs Superman one, and they have all different ones. Here's some of the other stuff they could kind of give out. So I showed you that. At the movies, they had these. It's Jason Mewes, probably horrifying. For their Jane Silent Bob Cruise Askew, they're doing a cruise. That's what they were promoting at the movies. Let's see. I did a Diablo 4 experience. It's a video game. John Gravina, you know what it is. We did this experience. They'll do like these experiences with actors where they make you seem like you're in the world, and they usually have like freebies in it. And we thought it was going to be really cool, and it was actually kind of lame. They just didn't do much for it, and it was really quick, and all you got was this like demon like crown Burger King hat. Like, at least give me something cool for that boring presentation. When you order exclusives, they usually give you like, if you have like a lot to buy, they usually give you an order sheet in line with like a pencil, so you could kind of like check off what you want. They'll have the prices on there, and they'll have a spot to check them off, and they tell you, if it's an event exclusive, what it is, if it's limited edition, like 1,000, whatever. These order sheets are your friends. I try to always get them in line instead of trying to remember them or trying to make a list on my phone. This is that guide I was telling you about. They give you with the bags. This one I recommend. This is the bigger one. It's really thick. It literally has like everything you could ever like think of for this like thing, like every single booth, every single panel, but it's really like long to navigate. This one's better. This one kind of has more like maps of the rooms, color, maps of like the city, when the shuttles are going, gives you all the booths, all the artists and artist alley. This is all the panels, schedule and everything. So I recommend this. This is your friend, until you study it and memorize it and know it already. Then usually like at Artist Alley, they have artists, and they they could draw you commissions if you want. I'm sure if you've been to a con, you know this. This is Bacon Nate's, actually. I have to ship it to him. He got it from this artist, Bill Walko, and it's pretty cool. It's magic from X-Men. Um, so yeah, this is just an example of some things you could do at Comic Con. If you're into art, you could have people do commissions. And then this is kind of just an example of like they just give out freebies just throughout, like whether it's a stupid poster or like a little stupid little thing or something. But I got this awesome Ahsoka poster from the Star Wars booth. Had to get it. I love Ahsoka. Can't wait for the show. It was free. You can't beat that. I recommend, there's booths that sell these plastic sleeves. I recommend them highly. Um, if you are a poster person or, get signed 8x10s or anything like that, get those, plan for those as well. Um, yeah. Oh, one other thing I wanted to add is for Hall H, I know there wasn't one this year, but the process for that, if that's your thing, if you want to see the Hall H panels, and sometimes they have like little prize packs they give you for just going to the panel. The Hall H, they have all different panels throughout the convention, throughout all the different days. Hall H is probably the biggest one. Hall H is like where they put all the big, huge companies like Marvel and WB and Walking Dead and Star Trek and Star Wars, like all that kind of stuff. Um, so like when there is an actual Hall H presence, so the process to doing that is the day before they give out the tickets in a certain spot. Um, on Discord, there are a lot of, or even on Reddit, there are line groups. So they are like a bunch of people who all want the same thing. They all want tickets. So what they do is um, they create kind of slots, like time slots, like 2 hour or 1 hour or like 3 hours. Some of them, like I've been in, were like 6 hours. Whatever group you're in, whatever. I'm comfortable with like 2 to 3 hours. They will have one person come at the very, very, very start of the day. They will stay in the spot, and then whatever time slot you have to take their place, kind of like standing guard, in their spot. And there's usually a couple people, and you just keep doing that throughout the day. And then when it's the actual time to give out the tickets, usually at like 7 o'clock ish, usually they're late. Um, all the people who are in that line group meet up in that spot where that person was holding the spot, so that you get your spot and everyone gets their ticket. And they usually have a couple people, so there's space in between. But there will be these people set up chairs. They have waters. It's like kind of like you hang out with all these kind of random people for a little bit of time, but you're all doing it for that Hall H ticket. So that's the easiest way. If there might be an even easier way that I don't know of, but like that's what we did. The people I've been talking about, this guy Mike, in my throughout this video, and there's a couple other people we actually met in line, doing this, and they are like kind of forever friends now. So it's a good way to meet people and kind of get some cool stories, and bring sunscreen and plenty of water because it could get hot out there. So if you are interested in Hall H, please do that. So um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I have some other stuff coming in the mail that I had my friend to send, stuff from Disney, but um, obviously I can't show it to you now. But if you ever want to see it, I'm always down to show. If you know me, message me privately. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to go through my experience with San Diego Comic Con this year, and kind of give some tips and tricks and try and see if it helps anybody with their experiences. If you ever have any questions, you can feel free to ask me anytime, or I can walk you through processes of stuff if you're planning on going. And I'm always happy to help. So um, I know I probably rambled on a million times, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Your monthly video. And please, continue the support. I really appreciate you, and appreciate you listening to this ugly mug tell you about San Diego Comic Con. And yeah, make you keep tuning in to MWO and anything on the Major Pod Network, and looking forward to hearing your Comic Con experiences or anything else. So thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video.